It's that time of year again. Baby ferrets running everywhere, mad as a box of frogs. But I've took an in-depth look into the breeding this year because over the last few years I've been a little bit downhearted with the calibre of ferrets that I've been working. Now, what we've got to appreciate is that all my friends are over the moon with these ferrets because they're out 1, 2, 3 days a week. But because we're really working them hard, I'm almost fine-tuning this little animal to becoming less of a Land Rover or a four-wheel drive to more of a Lamborghini. So therefore, when we've been breeding them this year, we've handpicked the best hubs we've got from around the country to the gills that we've worked hard over the winter. And the result is a bundle of joy like this. But what we've got to remember is that their world, their whole complete world, is in our hands. Their hutches, how we feed them, how we handle them, how we socialise them, how we put the prey drive back into them. And that's what I'm talking about now, how we're going to get these ferrets to go ferreting. Why anybody would want to put the genes back in the ferret our ancestors took generations taken out is beyond me. Look at the social skills of this fella. If he was that good, how come where we caught him, we caught a record number of rabbits? Says a lot about the mindset. There's no good having a good prey drive if you haven't got the mindset to marry it all together with. Wild mustelids such as the stoat only catch enough food to feed their litter, leaving the rest as a fresh larder there for taking later on. What I've got from the parents of these ferrets is the conformation right. The gills are sturdy, almost the size of a small hob, and the hobs are quite large, but I'm not using purse nets no more, I'm using stop nets and dogs, so the size is irrelevant. But what I want is a ferret with an aura to bully a rabbit into submission and bolting. I don't want them to flirt with a rabbit and get intimidated by the ever increasing size of the rabbits we're finding here in East Anglia. And ever since they were born, they were looked after by mother for a few weeks, and then to aid her milk, we put a little bit of fresh rabbit in there. They get used to the smell, the taste, the touch, the texture of what the fur is, and it ingrains in their brain even before they can smell, even before they can see and taste what a rabbit is. This helps them immensely when they're working underneath the ground in an unforgiving environment which is dark and violent. This is the prey drive I so desperately want to ingrain in the DNA of my line of ferrets. I just can't put into words how pleasing it is to see these ferret kits wake from their sleep, groggy, going towards the rabbit because their noses have told their brains that this is what they have got to seek out. This is why, at such a young age, putting this prey drive, cementing it in their sponge-like brains, it will always be there for the rest of their lives. I am only going to make it stronger. So when they start working and they get experienced at working, this prey drive, all these social skills, good conformation, this is going to equate to a fine working ferret. You can never handle ferrets enough, especially when they're very young. I'm getting these ferrets used to being in my fingers. They're having a little nibble, but as we're going to see, the little teeth there, they're not very big, and it's almost laughable when they go and have a little nibble at me. 8 weeks of age, we're laughing at them. Another 8 weeks when they're fully grown, it's going to make a grown man cry. So that's why we want to get them used to being handled now. And as you can see, even this one, it's only the third or fourth time it's been handled. but she's getting quite relaxed in my hands now. She's not turning her head so much to have a little go for a bite, and she's well on the way to being handled. So what we're going to do is we're going to get them all used to being handled, feel at home in their hands, put them on the ground, let them experience the grass, let them experience the silhouettes, let them experience all the sights and sounds. But what I won't stand for is her nibbling my fingers. And that's why when we've been feeding them, from when they've been in mother, we've had them used to our hands all around them. And as I said, ferret kits mad as a box of frogs. And what we want to do is get them having a nice, jovial, enjoyable upbringing. As I said, a little white Jill here, next time you see this one, she'll be pushing rabbits into my net to me, because inside her is bags full of potential. My job, to be worthy of the title ferreter, I've got to fulfil that potential and make sure she becomes yet another member of my team of Pakefield ferrets. Like the next person, I've been guilty in the past of not breeding from that stalwart worker that always bolts a rabbit, and this is why I'm in the predicament I am now. If I'd have bred from them years ago and had the foresight of not just 1 or 2 years, but maybe 5 or 10 years, perhaps I wouldn't have a shortcoming like I have on good quality working hob ferrets and Jill ferrets to breed them from.
No. Nibble.
My daughter Grace, ever since she could walk, has been brought up around these ferrets. Although horses are her thing, she still helps me with the handling. Nothing gets a ferret handled like the hands of a young child. This sets them on the road to success. So no matter what happens in the fields or in the hutches or in the boxes or in the car, these ferrets know. These fingers, they're not toothpicks for ferrets to clean their teeth on. At the end of the day, I've bred me ferrets, but it's no guarantee of success. All I'm doing is reducing the percentage of failure. So up and down our glorious country, when you get all your young ferrets out, just remember, it's not just now you want to think about, it's not how they work over this winter. You've got to think about 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years time. Where are you going to find your good working ferrets from? That's the question that I've been asking myself for the last 5 years, and hopefully, with a bit of hindsight now, we're well on the way to recovering them.